Under the fading Dhaka sun, West Indies were trapped not with pace and power, but with the invisible hand of spin and pressure. Bangladesh struck with precision like a surgical scalpel. And what began as promise just faded and ended in heartbreak for the men in maroons. All too familiar story. Welcome, welcome, welcome back, one and all. Thank you so much for joining us for another video here on Gameyaaad TV. Please stay tuned for more details. Please remember to hit that subscribe button, turn on that post notification bell so that you can be notified whenever content would have been uploaded to the channel. Please hit that like button and share the link with your friends and family. Please remember to share your opinions down in the comment section. I also created a timestamp down in the description section so that you can, just skip around to the area that are beneficial to you in this video. Please stay tuned as we will be providing much more details as it relates to this first ODI played between Bangladesh and the West Indies. So the match started with Bangladesh batting first, and they would have posted 207 all out from 49.4 overs. I mean, this score was not a massive total, but it was enough on a pitch that was offering grip and turn. And the pitch was one of the biggest talking points, coming out of, this first ODI. But if we have been following, cricket for some time, we would have known that, it started about 2016. Bangladesh started to, to prepare these, raging turners at home, and that one of the things that asserted their dominance in ODI cricket. I mean, Bangladesh, they are currently at 10th position on the ICC table, and West Indies are currently at 9th position. So Bangladesh know that if they can win this ODI series 3-0, they will be able to overtake West Indies. And to put everything into proper context, now as it relates to the 2027 World Cup, the host teams are Zimbabwe and South Africa. So those two teams automatically qualify for the 2027 World Cup. However, Zimbabwe is currently out of the top 8, right? And generally the top 8 would qualify for the World Cup. But given the fact that Zimbabwe is out of the top 8, now the top 9 will qualify for the World Cup. So that 9th position is very, very important, for Bangladesh. So they will want, to prepare conditions that will suit them in order to gain some momentum. Even though the World Cup is probably about 18 months down the line, but this series is very, very critical because I guess they will be getting tougher series going forward. So they want to make full use of this series against the West Indies, and West Indies will want to do the same also against Bangladesh. In this first ODI, the Bangladeshi, they did not allow West Indies to settle any at all in this match, and I mean that would have contributed to them being bundled out for just 133 in 39 overs. I mean, and Bangladesh would have taken 1-0 lead in the 3-match series with Rashad Hussain taking career best 6 for 35. Now, to put that career best into perspective, Rashad Hussain becomes the second player to really, or the second leg spinner rather, to take top 5 wicket against an opponent. Second to Jeffrey van der Say from Sri Lanka, who had taken 6 Indian wicket, the top 6 Indian wicket last year. So, that's a big achievement there for Rashad Hussain. Now, early on, West Indies looked, very sharp. Joseph and Moti, kept things, very tight, and and that would have contributed to Bangladesh slipping to 120, for 5. Credit must go to Tawid Ridoy for, his contribution of 51, and also Mahidul Ankan, he made 46. I think they played really well on this track, and that would have contributed to Bangladesh getting over 200 runs. And that total, at the end of that first innings, I think it was enough given how the pitch was playing, right? And when West Indies came out to chase, they needed some discipline from Brandon King and Alec Athanase at the top. Brandon King getting 44, and they would have reached 50 without loss, chasing that 207. And then, Rashad Hussain came into the attack, and that, just was the turning point of the game. He just ripped through the top order of the West Indies, batting lineup. We have seen this type of collapse, by the West Indies all too regular now. Something needs to be done in order for batters to really, because this pitch required us to be very patient, right? We needed someone to come in, get settled, take the time to understand the pace of the pitch, work yourself in, and then you can accelerate as the game went on, and none of our batters really came in and done that after Brandon King and Alec Athanase were dismissed. And not to take anything from Rashad Hussain, it was a top class, world class spin bowling there. He was just unplayable. He had good line and length, good control, because leg spin is very hard to control leg spin, and he was in total control of that game, and he just bamboozled the West Indies batters. In terms of I think Bangladesh read the pitch perfectly. Their decision to bat first showed even their confidence in their spinners. They know that if they get a good total on this wicket, they know that they back their spinners to get the job done, and that's what they did. Mahidi Miraz as captain, he was he made some really good decision in terms of how he bowled his bowlers. He used the slower bowlers to have bowl some short burst, and then he used the spinners to build a lot of pressure from both ends, and I think he was exceptional in terms of how he bowl his spinners. And West Indies, on the other hand, they always look uncertain. Their batters just struggled with length, variation, their foot movements, just all over the place. They failing to rotate, strike. West Indies just never tick most of the boxes as it relates to batting on that track. It wasn't just about spin. It was mostly about West Indies decision making. Too many soft dismissal, too many gaps between bat and pad. They were just all over the place, to be honest with you. And with the win, Bangladesh just reinforces, their dominance at home. We know Bangladesh for this. ODI cricket was, Bangladesh's best form of cricket, right? And to put things into perspective, when they came back from that tour, of Afghanistan, right, in the UAE, where they were hit down for 3-0 in that series. They were jeered, at home when they returned home. They were not, they were not welcome when they returned home. So all that pressure, Bangladesh had to deal with coming into this game, and they did respond well, to the critics and all those, adverse, comments and critiques from their fans. One of the good things that happened to them was they had a really genuine wicket taker in this match, and I suspect that they will want him to continue on this trajectory going into the second ODI. For West Indies, this result was really hurtful. The team had showed some improvements in India in that last test, and our poor batting, it just resurfaced. It didn't go anywhere in that last test against India, and the cracks started to show again in our batting. In this series, West Indies just need to be adaptable. The question is, can they handle Dhaka slow turner in the other games? Can they show the grit that they have shown in Delhi? They will have to answer those two questions. To be fair to Bangladesh, they had executed their game plans really well. To be fair to them, even though they got a lot of help from the track, but they did execute their game plans well. West Indies just didn't capitalize on the early advantage, having pinned down Bangladesh for 120 for 5. They needed that killer instinct to really just push on and to get the Bangladeshi out. But the Bangladeshi, they had other ideas, and they pushed their score to over 200. And once they get over 200, we know that it would have been very difficult for West Indies to make that that total. In ODI, it's just unacceptable to have these kind of middle order collapse. It's just unacceptable at this level, and so West Indies will need to apply themselves better in the second ODI. They have to respond in the second ODI. That's just no two way about that. West Indies have to respond. Now, in closing, so Bangladesh have taken a 1-0 lead into this series. The question is, can West Indies fight back in the second ODI? We have been here before, backs against the wall, pride on the line. What have we learned in that first ODI? Can we apply ourselves better going into the second game? My recommendation for the team is we need one of our top order batter to bat deep, right? And we have to preserve our wickets, right? This track, it will not get any better going into the second ODI, right? We have to find a way to keep wicket. We cannot be having these collapse, right? If we can be patient, our batters need to spend the time and get in. And once they get in, they will have the time at the back end to, accelerate. But we cannot just come in and try to hit the ball over the boundary. It will not happen on this track, right? So that's something that we need to do going forward. We have to spend the time, get in, understand the pace of the wicket, understand the movement, the lateral movements of the wicket, and then we can pace our innings and to get a big score. Other than that, we will find ourselves in the same position as in the first ODI. And this is where I will leave it with you. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in. Please remember to hit that subscribe button if it is the first time you are coming around here. And please remember to share the video with your friends and family. Hit that like button. And stay tuned for much more here on Gameyaaad TV. Have a wonderful day.